Happy Fragrant Friday, Fraghead. Hey everybody, this is Ben here at That Cologne Guy, coming at you with a new review. How are you doing? I hope you are doing well. This is That Cologne Guy. I do bring you new content every single Friday, and I love wishing you a wonderful weekend. So, you have seen the title and the description, so it is time for another new house for me, which is Robert Graham. This one is Fortitude by Robert Graham, and you might see as it blends perfectly into That Cologne Guy in the background, you might say, wait a minute, is that yet another professional, well-done travel spray? It is. And so this was another travel spray sent in by Jerry over at Lux Gentleman Society. Of course, I'm in the description box. You can check out his link for all your travel spray needs, and you can get 10% off by putting in TCG10. So, without further ado, let's dive in, shall we? I have a sneaky suspicion that this one is not going to be a terribly long review, just because this one is the proverbial good. This one is just a good fragrance that I enjoyed wearing over the course of a week. So let's dive in on what exactly do I mean. In terms of the notes, this is a 2016 release. And in terms of the notes, you get three, which is actually tobacco absolute, as they love to say. And then additionally, you get tonka bean, and you get patchouli. So it actually is quite linear. And this one is one of those fragrances that really is... It smells exactly what you would expect out of a mature, rugged guy. It's sweet, yet it is rugged, and so it really excels. And I did take that into consideration for my rating. It does excel in the sense that if I were to buy a guy, and uncle, my buddy's dad, something along those lines, a fragrance, and I didn't know him very well, I think it would be really hard to dislike something like this. It is just the perfect marriage of a little sweet with the tonka, and then you get really a gritty, rugged, Chuck Norris-esque feel that I do like about it. In fact, when I clicked on fragrances that smell like this one, I actually can say I don't know anything about those fragrances. So this was a new fragrance for me in the sense of how it smelled. I did want to mention that supposedly there is a dupe of this one. This is a 2016, as I said, and in 2021 there is a dupe. Supposedly, I can't speak to that personally, but I read about it, which is Continuum by Tumi, Tumi, and I just wanted to point that out because this was discontinued and then brought back. So I do want to be clear in saying, if you look at the original bottle is quite opulent. It is very, very, very impressive. And I will have a picture of that. That is no longer. That has been discontinued, but the fragrance lives on. They did bring it back. I did see it on Fragrance Net with supposedly the original bottle, but I can't speak to that. And that is $56.39 for a 3.4 ounce. Now, so overall, if I had to choose one fragrance that I would pick for a mature guy that I didn't really know too well, I actually would look for something just like this. I really enjoyed the fact that it does have a man's man, contemporary though touch to it, and there's something to be said about that. It excels in that area, so that is definitely a plus. Now, let's get into some grumpiness. Now, when it comes to the blended essence that it calls, now Jerry can correct me if I'm wrong, but I read that their term blended essence is usually because it's a mix. It's a point between the EDT and an EDP. So again, he can correct us. I don't know that this is an EDP. I really hope not, actually, because that might, I don't know if I'll go back and detract, a point, but that would slightly annoy me. This one really functions like an EDT in terms of projection and longevity and sillage. I was disappointed. This is another one that I mean, just to give you an idea, I wore this. And after like 4 or 5 hours in, I came back here real quick, just to do a little pit stop before I went back to work. I put on two sprays of Gérius Rouge by Givenchy, and I smelled that the rest of the entire day. It overpowered this to the point that I didn't really even pick this up anymore. So longevity was, I would say 4 to 7. Some people said this is really ultra long lasting. Boy, did I not get that. I'll give it 7 hours just to be, play it conservatively on longevity projection. So again, 1 foot or 3, 1 meter or 3 feet, from the body. You're looking at probably 4 to 5 hours, and if you are coming in and out of the outdoors, man, it might even be 3 to 4 hours. A little anemic in that regard. I was a little disappointed. And then sillage, walking past people, your scent trail, your scent bubble will be good. 4 to 5.5 hours on sillage. So overall, I was a little bit, but I mean that literally, a little bit disappointed in that regard, just because on Fragrantica, people talk this up as being very long-lasting. I certainly did not get that feeling. So I wanted to be clear about that. So I'm a little, the whole blended essence thing is a little pretentious for me, quite honestly. So now let's get to some of the seasons. This is clearly a winter fall, and this is clearly a night scent. So this one is definitely, again, for perfect for a date night out with your lady, actually. Or with your partner. So let's get to age, because I think that's the most relevant thing to hear. I think you're going to see how this plays out. You're going to see a 35 and up when it comes to age. And when I think gender, I do think this is a man's fragrance. And so I'm going to go with 90-10 on the breakdown. I do think that this will be almost always, men wearing this one. This would be a little tough to pull off for a lady. The tonka bean, though, is nice, but I just feel like with the combination, it has a sweet element to it, but in reality, how it plays out in practice, you're looking at a 90% will be men and a 10% will be women, of those who have it as their signature scent, bought it, really wanted it. So now, is it incredibly versatile? No, but this is a perfect choice, though, for someone who would like to wear the same fragrance every single day. In fact, I've mentioned this before, but every year I give a list to my buddy who gets a Christmas gift for his stepdad, and I make a long list, and I would include this one because he likes subtle fragrances that are mature and clearly masculine. So I think this would be perfect for him, and I think it would be perfect for a lot of guys. It smells really, really nice. I just wish that it lasted longer. And so if you're hearing nice a lot, there's nothing else I can really do for the rating but to give this a rock solid 4 out of 5 sprays. So I am going to dock it a spray because I would have liked it to last longer. I'm a little annoyed that they brought back the bottle, but it's no longer the cool bottle. It's kind of a lame bottle. In fact, I'll put that picture of it now. They did bring it back, so that's good. It's not discontinued, in case you do read that. They did bring it back. Make sure you get your hands on it. Robert Graham, go over to the house. You can see it. But the new bottle is not as nice, and also it's a smaller bottle. So for 75 milliliter, $100 is a little bit much to ask. 56 is more up my alley. For a bigger bottle on Fragrance Net, if it's the same one, which I think it is. And then you have piqued my curiosity as far as Continuum by Tumi, Tumi. If any of you can speak to that, that would be great. But supposedly it's a 2021 dupe. So I am going to go 4 out of 5 sprays for this one. I docked a spray, you know why. But other than that, it's just a really, really good scent. Is it one of those ones where I was addicted to it all week and constantly smelling my wristwatch and wristband and I seared through it. It doesn't have a lot of the traits and characteristics that you would expect of a 5 out of a 5 spray. So this was an easy review and rating for me because it is a clear 4. out of 5. I'm going to go 1 on each wrist and 1 on each side of the neck. Robert Graham is the house. 2016 Fortitude. Boom. Boom. Whoop. Boom. And just the right level, right when it's just sweet enough for some, and then it's going to be gritty and manly and masculine enough for others. Either way, though, it is a contemporary attempt to create something that is manly and rugged, and I just really, really appreciate that one. So I will end on a high note. 4 out of 5 sprays for Fortitude. I've really enjoyed this one. Thank you so much again to Jerry over at Lux Gentleman Society. Check out the link down below for all of your travel spray needs, especially with the new travel spray bottle, which I absolutely love. He is amazing. You are amazing. This was quite good, and always remember, my friends, fragrance marks the celebration of today. Take care, everybody. So the house, Robert Graham, has this to say about the fragrance. Due to popular demand, we've brought back our 2 best-selling fragrances, now available in a sleek 75 milliliter bottle. Haven't had the chance to experience them yet? Visit us in store to find your new signature scent. This blended essence evokes a daring sense of self and true grit, deep, rich, and almost mystical, born of alchemy and the exotic. An overly sensual top note of tobacco absolute with secondary notes of patchouli and tonka bean are melded to perfection for this distinctive blend. I agree with that. Best described, this is warm and sensual. Also agree. Can only be shipped to the continental United States. And then, of course, 75 milliliters, which is 2.5 fluid ounces, is a whopping, on their site, $98. So it's 100 smackers. That's a little pretentious, most definitely.